If you've been keeping up with the Jujutsu Kaisen manga as it's been releasing, then you guys will know that in chapter 225, something crazy happened. We saw that Gojo may have been fatally injured, which is extremely concerning for all of our favorite characters, including him. And while we don't have any information on Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 226 quite yet, I do want to go ahead and make some predictions about what's going to happen in chapter 226, along with what's going to happen as the manga wraps up later this year. So let's start with the situation that is looking us straight in the face. Gojo has been hit by a sever or a cleave while he's in Sukuna's domain. This not only means that Gojo's soul has been damaged, but it also means that it's been done in a domain which is highly problematic. From the interactions that we saw earlier in the series with characters like Mahito, we know that once a soul has been damaged, it's pretty much impossible to heal it back unless you have some kind of transfiguration technique like Mahito did. This means that even if Gojo is able to somehow get out of Sukuna's domain, it's unlikely that anyone will actually be able to help him. That is obviously very, very concerning to think about right now. And this could very well mean that we're looking at Gojo potentially dying within the very next chapter, chapter 226. It's something that I want Jujutsu Kaisen fans to brace themselves for. I'm bracing myself for it, obviously. Definitely sucked seeing him get unsealed and then having this happen, but I really don't see any way of getting out of it. Along with that, everyone knows Gege Akutami does not like Gojo very much, so there's that too. Along with that, in the video that I made yesterday about it, I think that to move the plot forward, you do need to get rid of Gojo, and that's kind of where I want to take the rest of the video and talk about it. So up to this point, my prediction for chapter 226 is going to be that Gojo is going to die, and that's what we're rolling with so far. I don't really know anything else that's going to happen. I'm very interested to see how Sukuna kills him. Along with that, we need to look at what Kenjaku's going to do, as he notes in chapter, I believe, 221, that since all of Jujutsu High and all the Jujutsu sorcerers are going to be focused on that fight with Sukuna, he's off doing something else, which is not very good, obviously. And if Gojo's dead, that's really not good. So that could also be something that comes up in the next chapter. As we think of possible solutions to this problem that don't end in Sukuna or Kenjaku or both of them just killing everyone in the world, I think that one of the main characters coming out on top and becoming a Gojo-esque character that can rival Sukuna is something that's likely to happen, or probably going to happen. For me, there's kind of two different tiers right now. Your S-tier characters, the highly likely ones to become that Gojo-esque character, are going to be Hikari or Yuta. I think Hikari's curse technique makes him an exceptionally strong candidate for this role of playing Gojo, essentially, and Yuta's immense amount of curse energy that he has at his disposal definitely makes him a strong candidate as well, along with his ability to mimic other curse techniques. I think that with that, again, pretty much unlimited, not unlimited, but abundant supply of cursed energy really makes Yuta a strong candidate for taking over that Gojo type of role. Now, the second tier characters that we would see that could become Gojo-esque would be like a Yuji, Kashimo, or a Choso. I think after seeing how badly Yuji wants to destroy Sukuna after he took Megumi's body, it would not surprise me at all if Yuji was able to surpass everyone else on this list. I also think that the fact that he was created by Kenjaku to become a vessel for Sukuna could lend him a hand in becoming that Gojo-esque character, as his body really needs to be able to withstand Sukuna and his attacks, and we've seen that he's been able to withstand Cleave, I believe, before, which is pretty crazy to think about, although Megumi was holding Sukuna back. I think Kashimo, while not having a curse technique, is an absolute demon, and he loves to throw hands. He's like an unbelievably cool character. I think Gege Akutami is going to do something with him, because we see that Kashimo's main thing is he wants to scrap with Sukuna. He wants to fight him, and Yuji also wants to fight him. So if we saw a tag team of them two just running a fade with Sukuna, that would be unbelievably cool. I would love to see that. Kashimo also is a really cool character from I think experience point of view. Easily one of the strongest characters 400 years ago when they were actually alive. I think that we could definitely see a training arc with Kashimo and Yuji, and potentially Choso as well. Choso's a little bit different though, and I think he's actually the least likely to become this Gojo-esque character at this point in the story. I think his physical strength being so strong because he is a cursed womb definitely lends him some power for sure. Along with that, his blood manipulation technique is really strong and really cool, as we saw him kick Yuji's ass in the Shibuya incident arc, along with him just running a fade with pretty much everyone else in the story. He's pretty cool. I really like Choso. I think he could definitely become a strong assisting character, but I would be very surprised if he ends up becoming the main hero, Now, in terms of plot, I don't really know what direction Akutami wants to take these last couple of chapters in. I do know that it's been said that he wants to end the manga by the end of this year, and so it's likely we'll get to see quite a few fights and quite a few more deaths by the end of the series. And I definitely want to talk about that a little bit so people can begin to brace themselves, because Akutami does not shy away from killing off characters. We know that. We saw that with Nanami, Nobara. I mean, the whole Shibuya incident, we saw a bunch of people die off. We saw a number of different characters get killed off in the culling games as well. We've seen Megumi just, I mean, like a main side character just get essentially taken over, and it's like, all right, he's pretty much like not dead, but he's like sunken within his own body. He can only watch from the sidelines. It's crazy. We've seen Yuji get like absolutely demolished. We've seen like a number of different characters in every arc. Both villains and heroes get killed, which I think that's the big thing, is in every arc there's like a balance of like villains and heroes, which is really interesting. So I do wonder where he's going to take that. I do think Sukuna is going to get killed or sealed away somehow by the end of the series, but I'm really interested to see what happens with Kenjaku. Kenjaku is like, I mean, he's been around for like 1,000 or 2,000 years. Like, he's been around forever. And he just keeps transferring his brain and stuff like that. And I would not be surprised if the actual manga ends off on a cliffhanger and we see like a sequel manga like years down the line and stuff like that. Maybe we could see some more people with like heavenly restriction because of, you know, the culling games, and he's trying to elevate humanity and make them evolve faster and stuff like that. I would not be surprised if there was a sequel series where something like that happened. That would be a little bit out there, but I mean, hey, it's Akutami, don't write anything off. And I do definitely think that Yuta, Hikari, Yuji, Choso, Kashimo, like one of them are gonna die, if not multiple of them. Honestly, end of the series, who's still standing? I think Megumi lives, and I think like Mei lives, and I think maybe Yuta lives, but I think Yuji, Hikari, Kashimo, Choso, like all dead. I just think that's the way it's going to go down, honestly. I don't want it to go down that way, but again, Akutami has no problem whacking characters left, right, and center. I think that's something that you definitely should keep an eye out for. You know, I think that the end of this series is going to be exceptionally violent and exceptionally bloody, and I'm really actually excited to see what happens with it, where Akutami decides to take it. So there you guys have it. There is a video on chapter 226 and then the rest of the manga, kind of summarizing my thoughts. As we get more chapters out, like as 226 comes out, I will redo this video probably every week, depending on, I mean, hey, if Gojo's alive, then we just redo this video essentially and, you know, predict what's going to happen. But I think that this is kind of based on what we saw with 225 leaks coming out yesterday. This is the most accurate endgame theory that I can give out at this point right now. So there you guys have it. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, comment your predictions for the last couple of chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen. We're coming to the last 20 or 30 or so chapters. If it's ending by the end of the year, you know, it's going to be, there's going to be a lot that goes down. So I'm very excited to see it. Thank you all for watching again. I love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.